Welcome to this week's Bible Topics discussion. We're glad you're with us today as we answer the question, do I have to love everybody?
There are many verses in the Bible about love. But you know what? As many times as I've read the Bible through, I don't think I remember a single verse that says you have to like everybody. That's sort of freeing, isn't it? There's a difference in liking someone and loving them. God knows that there's just no way that one human can like everyone. There's always going to be someone that just gets on our last nerve. Most of us can get along with just about anyone, at least for a short time. Maybe at holiday celebrations there's that one relative that you just want to hide from because they just exhaust you with their constant talking or bragging or complaining. Well, you get my drift.
But think about that person in this life. You may not like that person, and you may not like to be around that person. But what if something bad happened to that person? Wouldn't you feel a love in your heart for them because of their pain? There have been people in my life that I just couldn't stand to be around. But I would not like to hear that something bad had happened to them or their family. Well, that's love. And we love some people more deeply than we love others. We love our family members more than anyone else. But we have a love for others too.
Here are some verses that show how God feels about how we should love others. Romans chapter 13 verses 8 through 10 says, "Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. The commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and whatever other command there may be, are summed up in this one command, love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law."
Yes. 1 John chapter 4 verses 7 and 8 says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." How do you feel when you see on TV that a tornado or a hurricane has hit an area and the family is standing by what used to be their house, crying and grieving? Doesn't your heart break for them? Don't you want to do something to help? That's love. That's the kind of love God wants us to have. And some people actually act on that love by contributing to the help that is going to those places to meet the needs. Some people actually go there themselves to help.
We couldn't talk about love without reading part of what is known as the love chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verse 2 says, "If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing." You might ask how you can possibly have love for a complete stranger. Well, the Bible has covered that too. In Luke chapter 10, Jesus had been saying that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. When an expert in the law asked, "Who is my neighbor?" Jesus answered with a story that we'll pick up in verses 30 through 37.
In reply, Jesus said a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to go down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise.
The point of this story is that it doesn't matter who the other person is, we're to love them. You see, in Bible times, Samaritans and Jews didn't get along. But this Samaritan didn't pay that any attention. He saw that the injured man needed him, and he loved him enough to help him when a priest and a Levite, both Jews, chose to pass the man by. Well, that's it for this week. Please like, comment, and share, and let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you.
See you next week. Be blessed.